Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Winners in the Cloud, and this time a very special one as I'm joined by Hilary and Nandita from our Winners Cloud engineering team to talk about women in tech. They will share their inspiring stories and how they operate as part of product management here at Microsoft. So let's get started. Hey, welcome, Nandita, Hilary. Thanks for making the time here. We have been working for a long time together, but for the folks watching this episode, can you, Nandita, first share what you do at Microsoft and the team and things like that?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Christian. So I'm in the Windows 365 PM team, and I've been working on IT admin experiences specifically for enterprises, and also developed Copilot functionalities with Windows 365, and working more on the commercial and enterprise space.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
So good to have you here, and we will double click on some of these, how you do your work and such. But Hilary, we've been working a long time together.
You're my onboarding buddy. You want to join?
I remember it during the karaoke.
Absolutely.
Well, nobody knows about that story. Can you tell your story?
Yeah. So I'm Hilary. I'm also on the Windows 365 team, and I work with Azure Virtual Desktop as well. I'm on the end user experiences side, though, so I work less with admin and more with the people using our services and applications. And my specific area of ownership is Windows app on Windows. So I manage all the deployments and a lot of the features that come into Windows app.
Yeah, it's a pretty big thing. Windows app, a lot of adoption, and so we're not going to talk about that today. You're also leading an initiative called Women at Winners Cloud, or WCX, how we call it internally. So we're going to talk about that too, how you drive some of that work together with Nandita to support women in tech inside our team. So really cool. Couple icebreakers before we start,
Sure.
Just to kind of get to know you a little bit better and each other as well, probably. Let's start with you, Nandita, first.
Okay.
If your career that you led so far in tech would be a movie, like an action movie or a drama or a fun movie, comedy, what would be the example here?
I have had a really non-linear career. So I've changed 4 countries, 4 disciplines. Maybe like the Braun identity. So like really transforming myself every time, everywhere I go. So yeah, maybe that comes to my mind.
I love that. I love that movie too, in fact. So I think we as PMs, we have to constantly change. We change from focus. We change from different future areas. And I think, especially like you've been in marketing as well, I believe, and in other roles at Microsoft. So you definitely followed the kind of career stages. What about you?
Gosh, I was thinking about that. I love Born Identity. I would say something like Lost in the Woods, not an actual movie, but something I just made up. I also had a very winding career path that was not always in tech or even in large corporations or companies. So I'm just kind of wandering around and like finding places where I fit is my story movie, career movie.
Well, that's how we operate at Microsoft, right? Driving innovation, pushing the boundaries, and really excel. And I think that's a great example of that too. Other fun question, maybe start now with you, Hilary. What's the most taggy thing you do outside work?
Oh gosh, I mean, family tech support, of course. But I do so much on a computer during the day at work that I try to really get out of the tech world sometimes when I'm not on the clock. So I like to garden, bake, cook, do outdoor activities and stuff like that. So less techie in my own time, but very techie at work.
And some home renovation, I remember. Is that?
There have been some of that. Yeah. The home renovation is done. I didn't do this round. That was mostly my husband. But yeah, I have done remodeling before too.
Well, Nandita.
So I think I'll go with what Hilary was saying, being the tech person for my family. Like my dad lives in India and I'm always on the tech support for him. But a few months back, I founded this company along with my kids, which is an educational app, and it helps kids with hearing challenges and converts videos into ASL so that they can learn more. So I think that was a really fulfilling experience for me, and also helped that I'm in tech and I could extend those capabilities in building that.
Yeah, that's such a cool story.
Yeah.
I think we all have kind of the tech support role, right? If you're in IT, especially working for Microsoft, you kind of have that role. Like, regardless, you'll be asked, and especially during holidays, like things like that, when the family gathers together, you have one of these questions. So
Absolutely.
I can relate to that too.
Yes. And never wear a Microsoft sweatshirt while traveling, because people sitting in the airplane are going to ask you questions. Well, the word doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I have a couple of these stories too, but I'll keep that maybe for later. And maybe go a little bit more into the tech part and the story behind you too, and how you got into the technology as well as Microsoft. So maybe Hilary, you want to start first. Like, how did you get into tech? Like, did you do something on school for that, or did you just roll into it?
No. So my schooling was absolutely not tech related. It was recreation and Spanish language and literature. So very, very far outside the tech world. I started working at a ski area and did tech in the summertime. So I helped write web applications and manage some of our on-site systems for the ski area during the summer. And then that led into a PM career at a company that sold point of sale software. So from there, I learned that I really loved the PM role. I really loved the ability to innovate and work with cross-functional teams. And that led me to Microsoft because I wanted to grow in that.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. And I think if we get some statistics of every PM in Microsoft, I think everybody comes from different backgrounds.
Yes.
And I think that's the cool part, because the person who you are, like your strive, your relentless kind of capabilities as a person, that's the most important thing. And the rest are more like skills you can learn along the way. And I think this is a great example. So, Nandita, what's your story? How did you get into tech?
So my journey is also never was intentional to join tech. But I joined Microsoft in Germany. So that's when my journey at Microsoft started, and changed several disciplines from product marketing to business planning, back to product marketing, and then being in the PM role. I think for me, it was never intentional of where I'm moving. It was more about just curiosity, or being able to solve issues for customers. I think that brings a lot of excitement for me. And that, just kind of one door leads to another. And yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. I think the fascinating thing is joining Microsoft in a different country.
Yes.
Microsoft is so large. We're operating in every country almost.
Yeah.
So you get somewhere in a role, and then you end up in Corp and Redmond here.
Absolutely. I think you've had the same journey, right?
Journey.
Working in a subsidiary and getting that experience. And then coming to Redmond and working for Corp, two different experiences, but a tremendous learning journey, because once you work in a sub, you're also exposed to the sales and the challenges and the motions that the subsidiary goes through, and how they depend on Corp for a lot of the product ideas and enablement. So yeah, it's great that I have both experiences.
Yeah, I think I see many examples of that too. When you start in sales, or you start on boots on the ground helping customers, that you want to kind of be part of that product as a core, and then you kind of move up and then you end up in Redmond. Similar journey that I had too. So talking about that journey and such, did that journey for you, Hilary, happen without any challenges and such? Did you had any challenges along the way, or things you learned that you want to share with the audience here?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I said, it wasn't a very linear path to tech for me. So there were a lot of hiccups and learning challenges along the way. The biggest one was just getting into, I think, a PM role. It's really hard if you don't have any early experience or business experience to move into PM. And so getting to know the business function of a PM role and getting to know people who were PMs at my former company really helped with that. And then moving to Microsoft also is that's a big thing. It's a big move. And learning to work and operate within a large business organization. So it's just been a huge, huge growth path for me, the entire journey into tech.
Yeah, I sometimes explain the PM role as you're face of the product as well as the face or the voice of the customer. Kind of you represent on behalf of the customer, the product and the roadmap, right? And I think that like your strive and passion for product and customer and that engagement part, you can have that in different parts, roles and whatever kind of part of tech or maybe other businesses too, like helping customers at like shops and such. Kind of that part is very important. If you have that passion, you can be a very successful PM. I think you kind of gave it as an example too. What's your kind of challenge or things you have encountered, or is there any example you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I think nobody's career doesn't have challenges. I think we all have different challenges in different ways. And there are different learning experiences with every challenge. I think what I have learned over time is how we learn to respond to those challenges. I think that has been a journey I really enrich and cherish. So, just learning from your experiences and having a trusted group of people that you can discuss what you want to do in your career and how to respond to a challenge. So I think that this only comes with all of us. Like all of us have had challenges. I don't feel there's anybody who doesn't have, who's always had like good days. There are definitely good days and not so good days. So
no, I can definitely relate to that. I think you learn the most when you're having a challenge, right? And everything goes smooth and easy and such. And you both are great leaders in the team and shaping the products to a better kind of direction, like Windows app, IT, kind of enterprise management capabilities. Like, what's your advice to women watching this in terms of leadership roles and how they can, like, where you might have some learnings to share, maybe things you do better than you did in the past while going through certain kind of experiences. Maybe you want to go first?
I think for like being a leader, this is what I feel being the leader is enabling others to succeed. So creating opportunities for the team to grow and learn. And you don't have to be the strongest voice in the room as a leader. You have to enable others to succeed. And for women in tech and leadership, I think just having courage, I think a lot of us, just hesitate to talk or to push ourselves into leadership roles. I think just building that courage and doing it. And then just also having advocates and allies in the team really matter a lot. And especially advocates, people who can talk on behalf of you when you're not in the room. That's really important. So a strong advocate can do that for women. A lot of women don't have mentors or don't have advocates in the team. So I would highly encourage that, building your network, having the courage and, learning new things and not being afraid to taking on new challenges and changes.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I think there's a quote of that too, that fear, like having fear is the most kind of like challenge people are facing in order to grow, right? Like if you fear things, you most like don't take that extra step to go forward. And I love that what you're saying is like, we just talked before this episode about it too. Like just do it, just go for it. It's a famous quote, right? We will not name the brand, but it's kind of that, right? And then if you fail or you encounter some challenges, just work backwards, fix it, and maybe get some mentorship from somebody else for advocacy or an extra voice and get a mutual kind of sharing experience in a room. I like that. Is it something you can relate to, Hilary?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with everything you've said. And I think adding on to that, just staying true to yourself too, like being genuine in your interactions with people, I think is incredibly important because it's easy to see when people aren't being genuine. And I think providing a genuine version of yourself to anyone you're working with, whether it's peers or direct reports, is really important because it creates that safe space because they know that you're being a true person. And speaking to being afraid to speak up in rooms, absolutely. Like I feel and have felt in the past that I shouldn't speak up, I should say, unless I know everything about everything, right? Unless I'm an absolute expert in a topic. And I'm learning that that's not the case. And having advocates and having allies and mentors has been really helpful in that, because it shows me that you can ask questions. You don't have to know everything, and you can still add value without being, the most expert on a topic in the room.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really good. Being authentic and not being afraid to talk. I think those are two great points.
Yeah, and I don't want to go too deep, but it goes maybe back to background stories you as a kid and a person had too. I face it myself too, back when I was a kid and growing up, that you kind of create a sort of a shield around you sometimes, that you, I don't know, went through certain challenges in your life, and you kind of work a kind of safety net, create a shield around you for that. But I think the powerful part in excelling in your career is removing these shields and share your story and have other people relate to that too. Create that spark of connection, and then you grow all together. And I think this is a great example. Being genuine, being yourself, being your authentic self goes a long way. And Microsoft, I see many people that give you the trust as well to do that. It's a safe space. You can be yourself too. And sometimes it takes a little bit more time to get there. But once you're there, that's really where fun and passion kind of comes together. And working at Microsoft really comes to an certain perspectives you can grow as a person, being a mentor yourself, and help others that face challenges and bring them to the same level as well. And that comes maybe to the women at WCX Women and Windows Cloud kind of initiative too, that you're leading in the team, and your leader as well. Can you share some more on that, what your plan is in terms of mentorship and helping others in Microsoft?
Yeah, so actually Nandita reached out to me about joining a V team to help form this organization within our smaller PM team earlier this year, and I obviously jumped right on board. Because I think that's a great idea and it's a great initiative. So I think the idea is to create a safe space for women in our org where we can chat about challenges that we encounter, but also be advocates for each other, because we're at all varying levels within the org, so we can help support and mentor each other.
Yeah. And it's also, as Hilary was saying, celebrating each other's success and getting to know each other. The team's grown, and we have people in various locations. Sometimes we've not even met the women on the team. So I think it kind of starts at a very, very casual level of just getting to know each other, creating an environment, a safe space where we can talk about challenges, we can talk about growth opportunities. And then, as Hilary was saying, allyship, mentorship, and building some kind of an advocate who speaks on your behalf. I think those are really, really important things. And we actually did a little bit of a survey from the women on the team, and those are some of the key points that also came up in the survey of let's get to know each other. We don't even know each other very well. And then mentoring was one of the key things in allyship. So yeah, those are kind of leading principles, and we're just getting started. So, I
love to see where this goes.
Yeah, I love it. I love the story. I love the initiative, and I'm glad I'm able to help and give you as well some of a platform here to help others on socials and connecting, people in the community, for example, maybe MVPs or other IT professionals that are.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So, maybe one more thing, as part of allyship and such, are there specific examples or people that you look up to and that have been inspiring for you in the past?
There have been. And there are a couple of small little examples that I can talk about, but some situations where you feel people made a difference in your life, it sticks with you. So there was, a LT meeting, and I was very early in career, and there was a big room with lots of people. And as I entered the room, I did not sit at the table. There were couches on the background. I kind of I don't know why, I sat on the couch. And I remember a CVP telling me hey, you come and sit here. It was a small gesture. It's been probably 7-8 years since that happened. but it's kind of like stuck in my heart. And it got me really teary. Still gets me teary tons. But those are small gestures in which, you're including women to be at the center stage or giving them opportunities to talk and to contribute. Yeah. So the CVP is still here and is kind of like my casual mentor, but I really did appreciate that small little gesture.
Yeah, it's remarkable how important mentorship is and how people as well in Microsoft do that. And that's just, this example, I hope the person is watching this episode.
I don't know if he even knows. I wanted to tell him, but I've never told him over the years, but maybe I should.
And this is great, and I love that story. Do you have an example you want to share, Hilary?
Yeah, I don't have a specific example, but I have had mentors and people that I've looked up to over the years. And I think a big thing is just seeing women in those positions, like in work and in life for myself as well. It's great to see women doing things that feel terrifying, because then you know that it's not maybe quite as scary as you think it is, right? And giving someone a literal seat at the table is an example of that, because it's saying, hey, this is where you belong.
Yes.
This is where you need to be. And those types of things really, they really drive home the fact that, we belong, we participate, and we bring value.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that story. Offering that helping hand to something we see happening, right? Even though you're not asked or tasked to do that, but still do that. I think that's where the human factor kind of really shines. You have it sometimes in a grocery store as well, or in, I don't know, a gas station. You see something in front of you and you help.
Yeah.
Or you give somebody, hey, go in front of me, because I don't know, I'm not in a hurry and you are, right? And this is a similar example, and I love that. And
absolutely. And I think it's also like when people or women are moving across disciplines and careers and teams, you definitely need someone to place a bet on you, right? Like somebody has to place that bet on you, and then you can build on that. So I think that's where it all, it's a full circle of you have a mentor, you have an advocate in the team, because sometimes your mentors are not in the team, but your advocates are in the team and they're placing a bet on you. So I think that's also very important for women of is somebody willing to place that bet on you?
yeah, I know it's extremely important, and sometimes in your team, outside your team gives a little bit more safer space. Sometimes so that you could start outside and then move inside. I love that.
Yeah.
Mentorship is extremely important. It helps removing stress as well for you.
Yeah.
You can relate to somebody else that went through it already, for example. So
Yeah.
maybe wrapping up. I want to keep going forever here. This is amazing. But some wrap-up questions here. Imposter syndrome is something that also comes up pretty regularly, kind of in terms of women in tech, but also just in general, right? I'm facing it myself sometimes too. Is there anything you want to share in relationship to imposter syndrome that you went through?
Yeah, I mean, talking back to my path to Microsoft, right? I worked at a ski area for 10 years, right? And then I worked at a small tech company for almost 10 years. And now I'm here, and I grew up in the Redmond area. So Microsoft has always been this big looming thing. So I didn't believe I worked here probably for the first 2 years of my career at Microsoft. So yeah, imposter syndrome was a big thing for me when I started here. And it wasn't negative, right? It was just kind of is this really happening? Do I really know enough? And at a certain point, you get to understand, kind of speaking to being the expert in the room. You don't have to be the expert in the room all the time, but you need to understand what you need to ask and what you need to learn in order to grow and become more impactful in your job. So I see imposter syndrome almost as a valuable thing, because it kind of keeps you on edge and keeps you learning and growing. You just have to find that balance where it's not holding you back.
Yeah.
I like that. I sometimes experience it as when you jump in a pool and you're just not long enough to reach the bottom, right? That feeling. That's when you grow the most. But that feels sometimes very uncomfortable. And I think imposter syndrome kicks in there as well. And then you're I don't know how I'm doing right now. But you're in fact striving at that moment. You're doing the right thing. But then mentorship helps to kind of give you that level of confidence too. To no, I am on the right track here. I'm actually growing.
Yeah.
absolutely. That person that
Yeah,
brings you up to the table or helps show you the way. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't know you were a ski instructor, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Hilary joined. That was,
I mean, I used that recreation degree for a solid 10 years. So
yeah.
Well, you can definitely help your family getting on Mount Baker and all these other great mountains here. Hey, wrapping up here, how can people stay in touch with you? You have LinkedIn or something like that?
yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Hilary Braun. So come find me there. That's a place.
Yeah, same here, Nandita Sharma. I'm on LinkedIn. If you ever want to ask anything, yeah,
Okay, well,
get in touch.
thanks again for being here. It was great. Like, different type of format. I love it. We should do this more often.
Agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's fun.
I love this conversation, and thank you so much for having us here and also giving an opportunity to Hilary and me to talk about the Women in WCX initiative. And there are lots of others who are helping as well. So thank you to the entire community that is helping us build this. And then, of course, we need support and help from the broader team as well to help this get more nurtured and grow.
Yeah, and I love that. Nice closing answer. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
See you in the office.
Yep. All right.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.